It's hard to believe, but in the early 1900s, the wild turkey was basically non-existent in the state of Nebraska. But thanks to reintroduction efforts throughout the latter half of the century, the turkeys have made an incredible comeback. And in my neck of the woods in eastern Nebraska, I got to watch this incredible success story unfold on the property that I grew up hunting. In the mid-1990s, there was a small flock of 7 turkeys that we started to notice, and at 14 years old, and really without a clue of what I was doing, I started bow hunting for turkeys. But within a few years, I started to experience some success, and that small flock quickly turned into 20, then 40, then 60 birds, and within a decade, we started to see peak winter flock numbers in the neighborhood of 80 to 100 turkeys, which was incredible. With Nebraska's March 25th opener, I started each season bow hunting these large winter flocks. So while it's never been difficult to locate turkeys in this area, the challenge with bow hunting them early in the season is that oftentimes your conventional turkey tactics, calling and decoying, aren't as effective because the gobblers have no shortage of real hens to keep them occupied. They go where the hens go, oftentimes driving you mad by skirting just out of bow range. One thing we can use to our advantage though is understanding the movement patterns of the flock, which tend to be pretty consistent, where they prefer to roost, feed, and loaf throughout the day. By putting ourselves in these spots and having a good measure of patience, we've enjoyed a lot of exciting hunts over the years. To a lot of people, this probably seems like an unconventional way to hunt turkeys, but this is where my turkey hunting roots lie. And every year I try to make it back to my hometown for a couple of days of early season bow hunting. With the 2022 turkey tour underway, I've got a couple of days between our Mississippi and Illinois hunts to get back to Nebraska and try to bag a gobbler with my bow. As soon as I arrive, I do some quick scouting and check a hillside where the turkeys historically like to loaf throughout the day, check for sign, and then listen and glass the timber to see if I can find where the turkeys are roosting for the evening.
I can hear them over there, going to roost. So the options for the morning is, I could sneak in close and just hunt close to where they're all roosted right there. But when they roost here, kind of up in the tops of these trees, what they tend to do is just pitch down out into the field right away in the morning. It's tough to predict if they're going to light, close to the timber, or if they're just going to fly out into that second tier, or if sometimes they'll just fly out right into the middle. So my thought for the morning is just to get set up somewhere over on this edge. That way I can watch and see what they do, get a feel for it. Obviously, have decoys out and try to pull them in with the calling and the decoys. And if that doesn't work, then I'll probably just back up onto this hillside somewhere and set up in these cedars for the middle part of the day, for the late morning or middle part of the day. These early season hunts, a lot of times it's just kind of patterning turkeys. It doesn't pan out tomorrow, then day 2, probably push in and just be more aggressive, because that's all I've got is like a day and a half or 2 days at most to hunt. Just a quick trip before we head to Illinois. But got an opportunity here to get back to Nebraska, my home state. The farm that I grew up hunting, have so many memories of hunting out here. I can't pass up the opportunity. been quite the show this morning. There's about 60 turkeys down there, which is a lot, but it's not quite as many as what we usually see. You know, set up over on this far ridge here can be a little bit of a long shot to get them to actually come all the way over here. It's worked in the past, but more than anything, it's giving me an opportunity to see how many birds are out here, see how many toms there are, you know, make sure there's enough that I feel like that I can go ahead and harvest one with everybody else that hunts out here. So there's definitely enough birds, but most of the turkeys are drifting away right now to the south. But this is what they usually do right away in the morning. They fly down, they feed out in this field, and then eventually work their way, you know, a lot of times up east, kind of towards where I'm at, where I've talked about here up on this ridge. And loaf, scratch, dust. I'm probably gonna ramp up the calling here a little bit, see if I can get one of these satellite toms excited, maybe come in over here. Right now it looks like they're staged up in the tree line just to the south of me here, on the south end of the field, which may not be all that bad. If they eventually work their way east up into the timber, that will give me the opportunity to grab the decoys quick, tear everything down, and then move back up in through these cedars. And there's a good chance the group will start moving this way as they, you know, just kind of scratch around and loaf up on this hillside. All right, the GoPro died, so I'm gonna use my phone. But anyways, I'm over on the other side of the property right now, looped all the way around, packed in as light as I could, which still isn't very light. So my plan is right now to take advantage of these windy conditions and try to intercept them between where I saw them feeding and where they were roosted this morning. This is where they were roosted last night. Last I saw them, they were down in the field. I'm just gonna try to drop down and get in between them. Don't wanna get right up under the roost, but if I can get down somewhere in between where I can get out after it gets dark, it'd be ideal. Lone gobbler out in the field. I think all the turkeys are feeding around the corner, a few hundred yards away. And this is a perfect funnel right here. I'm gonna get set up by that cedar tree. And this is where they pitched down this morning, so might just be able to make something work here. I made it just in time. As soon as I dropped down to the field edge here, I could see the turkeys working their way back to the north. And now I can see them spread out down along the edge of the corn and the bean field. Some of them look like they might be working up this way. And there's a good little funnel right here where a lot of times they'll just follow the edge and then go up into the timber and go to roost. But it could be a deal where they just pop up right over this berm as well. I don't have a decoy out in this spot when you're hunting, you know, these tight, you know, pinch points, funnel areas, or where they can pop up over real quick. Typically, I don't use a decoy there. Basically, just relying on the birds funneling back through between the berm and the edge of the tree line. You know, more than likely, it's going to be a string of hens with the toms behind them. That's what I would suspect what would happen. But pretty sure that's a gobbler down right there. I had a good quartering away shot at him. It looked like it hit him perfect, and that I'm guessing he's just down over this berm right here. But that got tricky real fast. They all funneled right back through here like I hoped they would. But the hens were starting to work past, and then when one of them got nervous and started to go back, and those gobblers are wide open, they're in range in amongst all those hens, but I can't get a shot because I can't get around the camera. So I'm just slowly working my way, trying to lean out to get a shot. And finally I started to, clipped on, started to make the move, and it caused the hens to spook a little bit. Those toms looked like they were gonna get out of here, but thankfully they paused. There was enough hens around here still. It gave me time to settle in and make a shot. And like I said, I'm pretty sure he's gotta be down just right over the lip. I mean, it looked like it hit him hard, and that's a big broadhead that went right up through him. Oh man, that's exciting. I'm fired up. All right, well, I got a little bit of daylight left here. I'm gonna go make sure that bird is down. I watched the footage back though, and the shot looks perfect. Like, it looks like he was going down immediately. But I mean, it's a good spot right here. When calling and decoying doesn't work, sometimes patterning birds and a good funnel can bring them within bow range. And I had put a bunch of birds within bow range. Man, that was exciting. There he is right there. Look at that. Perfect. That is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that tail fan. Look at the color in that. That is beautiful. Iridescent. I say it every time I shoot a turkey, but that is a beautiful gobbler. I mean, just gorgeous. Gorgeous color. Got to watch these guys all day long. Finally was able to catch up with them.